All right, welcome back to Davis County High School. For some of you that don't know me, I am the principal, Matt Mason. Thank you for being here tonight. Most of you have gone through this as freshmen, sophomores, or I guess that would be it, freshmen, sophomores, or juniors. This is the Upperclassmen informational meeting, so we are glad you're here. There's so many opportunities for your child. It's a plethora of things that you can choose from. I'm going to turn it over to some of these people up here. I want to introduce them first, but make sure that you pay attention. We're going to be around to answer any questions that you might have. We'll turn you loose to your advocates. Now, when you're in your advocate group, or where your class is meeting, the only change is Miss Bailey will be in the cafeteria. Tyler Bailey, if you have her as an advocate teacher, you'll be in the cafeteria, not the main gym. But when you're there, and if it's crowded, just get an appointment to meet later on. If you don't get to meet with your advocate tonight, that's okay. They're going to give you a brief overview of scheduling, and then probably schedule some of you, but if you can't stick around, they will schedule another time with you. So I don't want you to, have to wait an hour to meet with your advocate. Okay, we're going to give you a lot of information tonight, and there is plenty of it. So let's go ahead and get started. Our guidance team is here tonight. Mrs. Kelly Powers, she's the head of our guidance department. She'll be A through G. If you have a last name, A through G, you will be speaking with her. If you have any questions, Tommy Jo Leisner, H through N. Neil Hayden, O through Z. Megan Nicodemus is not here. She's our Youth Service Center coordinator. She's setting up for Close the Deal. All of our juniors will be going over to the Boys Club tomorrow for a great morning and meeting with some of our community members and getting a lot of information there. Trey Pittman is here, our CCR guy. He has a lot of information for you tonight. Amanda Jerome is also across town at the Boys Club, help setting up for that big day for juniors tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Leisner.
Thank you all for coming this evening. We really appreciate it. So we're going to go over some changes as far as classes and some refreshers of things you may have listened to in the past and what to expect to put in your child's schedule for this upcoming year. And then after our meeting, then you will have a chance to go meet with your child's advocate teacher again. And you will get to start working on schedule. Now, they've already done some of their scheduling in advocates the past couple weeks, some of them are just maybe getting started on it. So our teachers for core content, math, science, English, and social studies, they have went through and put in a recommendation of what level they think would be best for your child. So you will get to review that and start looking at some of the electives that your child was thinking of taking. So your advocate teacher will have the transcript that has all the classes that your child has already earned credit for, and then a list of electives that they may look at and consider taking. They will also have a graduation checklist, so this is our list that we go by for graduation requirements as far as English, math, science, and social studies, and then the electives and the number of credits. So you will see that. You've probably already seen that in the past. And then you will also have a 4-year plan sheet. Now, this year we're doing something new, so students are able to now put their 4-year plan in the computer. It's not set in stone, it's an infinite campus. They can kind of change it from year to year, but it gives an overview and a visual of what they might like to take as they progress through high school. So this is a copy of the graduation requirements. You've probably seen this sheet many times before. You'll get to see that again in advocates today. And then here's a copy of the 4-year plan. And then as far as English, so this is for upperclassmen. So English 1 is probably already done for all of your students, or they're in English 1 right now. If they are a sophomore, they have the chance to be recommended to take AP English Language or English 2. So those are going to be your options if your student is a rising sophomore. If they are a junior, they might be doing English 3 or English Language or English Literature. So literature comes after AP Lang, kind of in a sequence. Then the other option would be English 101 or English 102, same for a senior. Now, in order to get in 101 or 102, there is an ACT requirement set by the college. So if your child does not take an ACT, then they probably don't want to request that, but if they take ACT between now and the fall, we can always change that and put 101 or 102 in their schedule. And then the math options, so most of them have probably taken algebra, or they're in algebra right now, and then after algebra comes geometry, and then algebra 2, along with probability and statistics. So probability and statistics is a 9 weeks class that's required with algebra 2. And then some of your children might see 9 weeks intro math class, like intro to algebra 2 or intro to geometry. So this one is to help build their math skills. Usually it's offered in the fall, and then they would take the regular class in the spring, like intro to geometry in the fall, and then geometry in the spring. And then we have some 9-week senior math options, like math for business and industry, money skills for math, a variety of math options, and then we also have pre-calculus and college algebra dual credit. So a wide range of options there as they're progressing through high school.
Okay, on science, your students have already completed the freshman requirement, or they're in it now. I'm talking to kind of a mixed group here where we've had a change in science. Some of your students, if they're sophomores and juniors, took integrated science for a whole credit for 18 weeks with one teacher. Now we currently have our freshmen who will be sophomores next year taking intro to biology for 9 weeks, and then they had the choice to take intro to physics or chemistry, with some students who love science taking both. Also, we had our advanced students had the option to take AP environmental science for the first time. So those were all new things. Moving on, most sophomores will be in biology, and from there, your sophomores currently are going to take chemistry or physics, and they have a choice in that, or earth and space, and there's recommendations there. Some of your more advanced students may be looking at AP bio, or doubling up and taking AP bio, AP chemistry, pre-AP chemistry. You can look at that. Your science teacher will have recommended your student for what comes next. So the progression is the intro courses, biology the sophomore year, the junior year is typically chemistry, physics, or earth and space. Okay, in social studies, again, your students have already sat through intro to social studies, or are currently, or they're in the AP Human Geography class. That takes care of their freshman social studies, so they're moving into, they'll be recommended for a level of Western Civ. So here you usually see CP, CP Excel, or pre-AP in that, across the board for all sophomores. Juniors, same thing, except US History, CP, CP Excel, or you'll see an AP Human History, or AP US History option. And seniors are typically going into government and econ. And those are two 9-week classes. So when you think about your course planner and how much each class takes up in a semester, you're starting to see quickly, if your student has done the right thing throughout, that they have a lot of room to plan for other options. And that's what we're here tonight to share with you, is like how to spend your time wisely the remaining years of your high school. Because we offer so many things that we don't want to see you sitting in a bunch of study halls and student assistants when there's so many options to hopefully benefit you in the future on your next step, whatever that may be. Some special considerations. Some of your students have participated in some of the programs that are up on the screen right now, and that's earned them a credit for a class they didn't actually sat in. So probably your student knows that already, but just to kind of review with you all, if they're in band, they get the Arts and Humanities credit, the Performing Arts elective credit, and the PE credit. If they have band for at least one full year, they earn all those checks in the box when we talk about what Ms. Leisner was showing you with the graduation checklist. Choir and orchestra are both going to do a year of choir or orchestra. Also earns you a half credit Performing Arts, half credit Arts and Humanities. Community campus. So there's two different community campus programs that your child may be in. If they were in LSA for a year, they earned health credit. If they were in engineering for a year, they earned digital literacy credit. So when you go through and you look at the other requirements, those are boxes you can check without actually sitting in the class. That means the content was covered within those programs. And ROTC, If your student completed a year of ROTC, they get the health and PE credit there as well. So those are just some special considerations as you're going through trying to decide at this point, what do we have left and how do we want to spend our time?
Hey, I want to welcome everybody. I'm Mr. Hayden, I'm a guidance counselor here, and I want to talk to you about our diplomas. We have two types of diplomas offered at Davis County High. There's a college prep diploma and an honors diploma. Both, and this is the main thing I want you to hear, both require 26 credits to graduate. Both require 26 credits to graduate. The difference in the two, and you see the description up here, is the honor diploma is 5 AP courses, which means you would have to test in 3 of those AP courses. Now we have over 20 AP courses offered in this building. There's a national exam for 2 weeks in May, and we have some great teachers that offer a rigorous schedule. And as AP coordinator, I would really challenge you to think about utilizing our teachers that offer these AP courses. I think there's some great offerings there. But to fulfill it, again, you need 5 AP classes, and you have to have 3 foreign languages in the same content. For example, if you took Spanish 1, then you would need to continue that. You can't hop around and take Chinese, German, and Spanish, for example. They have to all be in the same content. The honors diploma is a great option here at Davis County High. We have some great teachers that offer that. But again, both will be a high school diploma. So the biggest thing is to take the classes that offer a rigorous schedule, a challenging schedule, but again, that allows you to get to 26 credits. Some other things for students to consider is an academic internship. There are great opportunities for our students to get outside of the classroom. One of those options is the academic internship. And it's basically where they're able to job shadow, which means they will work out a place of employment to attend, and they can be more than one place as well, I believe. And they can just explore different real world work options. It's a great place, great experience that we offer here during the 4th block for those students to leave. Co-op. It's another way to get outside of the classroom. 4th block, the students are able to leave and go to work. 2 choices of co-op is business co-op and ag co-op. If a student, a junior or senior, takes business co-op, they have to have an 18-week class of business management somewhere in their schedule their junior year if they were to take it their junior year. Same thing, which then would allow them to go out as their senior year as well. But they have to have that 18-week business management class to ever take business co-op. But once they have it, they can take business co-op and leave either one semester or both. And they can do that for 2 years. Ag co-op is very similar. In order to take place or attend ag co-op, again, they need a job, 4th block they're able to leave, as long as they're passing all of their classes. And they need a minimum of 1 9-week ag class in their schedule somewhere throughout the 4 9 weeks. So again, that's a junior and senior level course. And for ag co-op, it's not just 1 ag class in those 2 years, it's at least 1 9-week ag class both years, junior and senior year. But again, both are great opportunities in order to get out and get some work experience. Coaching certification, just want to touch base on this. They're able to earn a certificate through different pathways that we offer in our handbook. If you have a question about those how to earn that certificate, those teachers that give out the certificate will be really talking to those students as they continue the pathway in those courses. But I would just challenge you to look at the handbook to see what kind of classes are offered there. This is the part where you want to jump in. Okay. Before Mr. Pippen takes over and talks about dual credit, I really want to touch base one more time about just opportunities to leave. I've talked to you about 3 of them: business co-op, ag co-op, and academic internship. Those are amazing opportunities. But again, the biggest thing, in order to do those, they have to be passing all of their classes in order to attend. All right, Mr. Pippen's going to talk about dual credit.
Hey, he's a nicer guy than I am, because every time I hand the microphone over to him, I try to do something to embarrass him, but he just gave it to me. That's nice. Let's hear it for him, everybody. Hey, so welcome to Davis County High School. Tonight we're glad you came. My name's Trey Pippin. I'm the College and Career Readiness Coach here at Davis County. I'm excited because I get to talk to you a lot about really great opportunities for your students. Whether that's a dual credit route or if they're interested in going into more of a career pathway, we've got a lot for your students. And as sophomores, juniors, and seniors, you get to experience more of those things than freshmen do, right? So congratulations, you made it. For those of you that are rising juniors, I want you to know about the Early College Academy. This is a program that we have that allows students to graduate from Davis County High School simultaneously with an associate's degree from Owensboro Community and Technical College. So, if you're interested in that program, you would be at OCTC full-time, and you'd be working to obtain that 2-year degree. That application is going to be open until March 15th, so you've got a few more weeks, and you can find the application and some additional information on the Davis County Public Schools website. So if you're a rising junior, that'd be a great thing for you to look into. So, we have at Davis County High School, I'm really proud to say this, we have the largest dual credit program partnership with the Kentucky Community and Technical College system in the state. You probably saw some of our booths that OCTC came to set up here tonight to showcase some of their programs that your students can be involved in while they're still high school students. So whether you want to pursue a certification in welding, or you want to maybe look into industrial maintenance or automotive tech, we can get you in those programs. Whether you just want to get some dual credit under your belt, which is where you can earn college hours while you're a student here, we can get those things taken care of. English, math, World Civ, whatever, name it. If they've got it, we can make that work for dual credit. Here's something else I'm really proud about saying. Last semester, our students, Davis County High School students that participated in our dual credit program, we had a 92% success rate in obtaining what we call a transition-ready grade. A transition-ready grade is an A, B, or C in dual credit. We had a 95% overall pass rate for our students at OCTC. So that's with a D, right? Passing with a D. We hope you do everything, right? So the technical programs that I mentioned, those have a 16 composite requirement. So if your student is taking the ACT and they made a 16, we can get them enrolled in those technical programs. Again, those are the welding, the automotive techs, a lot of the things that they're showcasing out there. If you are interested in scheduling college hours, you will go into your schedule request and you'll select college hours. Pretty simple, right? Once that happens, and we get a list of all the students that have requested college hours, OCTC will come to the library in March and they're going to sit down and enroll our students to take those courses. Now, going to OCTC is not the only option that we have for our students. And what I mean going to, I mean physically going a mile down the street and sitting in a course at OCTC. You can also take college classes here in our building. We call those concurrent enrollment classes. So whether you're interested in maybe taking college algebra, English 101, English 102, we have music appreciation, we have Physics 171. All of these are in our building, taught by Davis County High School teachers for college credit. Those are all in your scheduling handbook that you can take a look at. Financial literacy, animal science, physics. In addition to those AP classes that we're proud to offer here. And those are also profiled in your scheduling handbook. So I always tell our students, there's a difference between being college ready and being ready to go to college. There are different expectations for college coursework, frankly, and college attendance and college communication. You can't call your student's college professor and say, my child can't come in because the cat broke their toenail and we have to go to take them to the vet, right? The college professor's going to say, I don't really care. Nobody laughed at that. I thought that was pretty good. Thank you. So, you all know your students. students better than we do. We do a really intentional job of getting to know your students, but you know them best. If you think your student is ready to start pursuing college classes, we have plenty of chances for them. But if you're hesitant, maybe it is not the right choice right now. And that's okay. We have a lot of great opportunities here in the building as well. So, their transition is important, and you can evaluate that. We do offer some transportation options for students who are not able to drive themselves, and we can talk about that more on an individual case-by-case basis. Additionally, if your student enrolls in a college class, everybody should write this down and star it. You need to get their Blackboard login information. There are no progress reports sent home to parents. We don't get progress reports. They're treated like college students. So on your side, you can log into their student portal and check their progress. Please do that. I see a lot of parents who come towards the end of the semester and they say, no one told me that my student was making a 4% in his English class. You can check online. That would be my recommendation to them. Most of the credits will transfer if we're intentional about seeking general education courses. Again, those are your English, your public speaking, maybe a psychology or sociology, your college algebra classes. Those are going to transfer pretty well. I found that students that are interested in attending four-year universities that are public here in the state have a lot of success with transferring. When we get into the small private schools, there might be a little bit of discrepancy, but we've had experience with a lot of those schools that we can kind of talk about, you and I. There's also a financial responsibility for taking college classes. $168.99. That's what it costs as of right now to take a 3-hour course through our dual credit program. To put that into perspective, at Western right now, I think a 3-hour course costs about $1,100. So in a lot of ways, you're not only saving a lot of money, but you're kind of, you look at it in some ways, getting a scholarship, right? So it's a great chance for you to start saving some money and start gaining some college credits while you're still a student.
Listen, there's not very many times in life that you get to take a microphone from Mr. Pippin, so I'm going to do it while I can. He just spent a lot of time talking to you about dual credit, and I want to jump back in with AP. Again, we have over 20 classes offered in this building. It is $94 to take an exam. But what I did say earlier that I want to jump in now since we're on this slide is, if a student makes a qualifying score of a 3, 4, or a 5, that student can be reimbursed of that money. So that class could potentially be free, and it could give them college hours. Now, I do want to say this with an asterisk. Where they go depends on if that class, the AP course, is accepted and how it's accepted. Sometimes those classes will go in as elective hours, and sometimes schools don't accept a 3. They want 4s and 5s. So it varies, but it can count as college credit, and it can count for an English class, for example. If somebody were to take an English lane or lit, that can count as their 101 or 102, for example. So there's an amazing way to gain college credit in our building as well. And again, I know I said this earlier, but I want to say it again. We have a great AP program that has a very, very successful pass rate with our teachers. So there could be a question of which one should I take? That's a conversation worth having with your child. And there's differences based on what he just talked about, getting a chance to leave, whether you take a class online, or do you have a class with our teachers in our building. Both can give opportunities for students to earn that money back. As far as there could be dual credit scholarship opportunities with a couple of classes. With all of our AP classes, a qualifying score, they can retain that money back. It does take a little bit of time to get that check back and all that stuff to be processed, but there is an opportunity to gain that. So just want to put another plug in for AP hours.
Real quick, in closing, before you run off to give your advocate teachers, if you want to go ahead and go to your to your rooms. I'm going to dismiss them in just a few minutes. Listen, we want a personalized set of skills for your child before they leave Davis County High School. There are so many opportunities. It's going to be up to you and us to kind of look at your child and move them forward. We can't do it by ourselves. We need you all. They need you more now than ever. Trust me. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. Now, some of you are going to be sophomores, juniors, and seniors. All right? The more you get behind, and students that are in here listen to me, the more you get behind, the less opportunities you have. So if you fail classes, you see where I'm going with that. So it's going to be important as you move forward, parents, to check on the college, to check on the teachers here, to do what you need to do and to do what we need to do to get your child right where they need to be in order to go into a career or go into some type of post-secondary training. That's very, very key. And we need your support to help do that. We're going to be here. We provide service for your child. We serve you guys. We want to make that experience the best experience they possibly can have here. But there's a lot to choose from. I hope we didn't overload your brain. Okay? So, I know Mr. Hayden will be here. The rest of the guidance counselors had to go set up over at the Boys Club for the juniors tomorrow. Thank you for being here, and have a great night. Hope you get to meet your advocates.